Before we get into your reading, I'd like to start by thanking everyone who has liked and commented on the videos, as well as subscribed and donated to my channel. I really appreciate it, you guys. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can find all of my contact information, including my email and social media links, as well as links to my music and podcast in the description below this video. Okay, let's get into your reading. What do we have for Scorpio? The Tower. Aries energy at the foundation of the reading, Scorpio. Scorpio, before I began your reading, I received a download surrounding what I feel this message is going to be focusing on. Scorpio, your energy throughout your lifetime has attracted everything toward you that is unhealed inside of you. And what I mean by this is all of your relationships, all of your friends, even your family members, all reflect back to you work that you need to do within yourself. So you'll find yourself in these romantic relationships that seem chaotic in a sense, karmic. Each one of them will be similar to the last. It will feel like a pattern repeating over and over and over in your life. Even your family members, there'll be this sort of stuck energy. It seems like people aren't developing, people aren't growing or awakening spiritually. A lot of you will focus on the people around you, try to help them before you actually help yourself. This is one of the first stages of awakening for the Scorpio collective. You'll focus on trying to help others before you actually help yourself. And in most cases, you'll sacrifice your own needs for somebody else's. And you're programmed in a way to think that this is actually okay, that you're actually doing something good, that you're being of service in some capacity. On the surface, this may seem well-meaning, that your heart is in the right place, and it is, Scorpio. But the problem here is that you're sacrificing yourself for another. You're willing to give up everything for the advancement of another individual around you. And what's really peculiar with the Scorpio collective, you'll even have this relationship with your parents, because a lot of your parents are broken people. They're people that are untransformed themselves. So why? Why does this happen to Scorpios? Well, Scorpio, you are the 8th house of transformation. The 8th house is all about transforming past outmoded influences in your life, egoic patterns, behavioral patterns, things that don't serve your highest good. Simply put, it's the energy of a spiritual awakening to one's true self and divinity. So the Scorpio collective is tested. The divine uses you essentially as a guinea pig to try and awaken other individuals around you. But you yourself can't do anything to awaken other people, Scorpios. What you have to do is pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities, the situations, the relationships, the path that you've been put on. You need to pay attention to all of the details surrounding your life, because everything is placed in your life in a divine order to wake you up, Scorpios. So going back to what I was saying about, let's say, repeating the same pattern in romantic relationships, because this is an area that most of you will resonate with. Almost feels like you're dating the same people. It's like they have the same spirit, just a different exterior, different meat suit, so to speak. As you get older, you start to find that these individuals are triggering something inside of you, triggering something dark, something unhealed that has been repressed for a very long time, for most of you since childhood. The Scorpio collective is really put through the rounds when you're too young to even know what's taking place in your life. You'll be put in these very challenging family dynamics You'll be programmed with these karmic patterns without your knowledge by the individuals around you, the authority figures, your parents, family members, whoever it may be for you. You'll start to develop as an adult, and these patterns will start coming out in your relationships. A lot of us just put this off as being like your parents. Oh, well, I'm just like my parents, right? But that's a cop-out. That's just a way of averting doing the healing, which is tower in reverse energy. So what you're doing here is, Scorpio, is stopping ascension from coming through for you and awakening, but you don't even know this is taking place. So the universe will send these relationships into your life to wake you up to what you need to heal inside of you. All of these people are going to reflect what's unhealed in you, and they are going to pull it out of you if it's the last thing they do. These individuals that come into your life bring out the absolute worst in you until you finally start to see the patterns and awaken to what's taking place here. Awaken to your divinity, that you are a child of the universe and you are here for a bigger purpose. Now, the way you are able to get other people around you to transform, let's say these individuals that came onto your path to awaken you, is by transforming. They now see you as a perfect example of how transformation occurs in one's life. You must go all the way back to the beginning, Scorpios. Start figuring out where these patterns began and where you are now, and start breaking them. And that is called generational karma. So there's many layers to the message that I'm trying to convey to you right now. But simply put, Scorpios, until you wake up to your truth, your divinity, your purpose, or enough of it to start the healing process, you are going to have people put on your path that are going to trigger you. They're going to trigger the darkness inside of you, and they're going to pull it out. Now, these people don't know what they're doing. They themselves are unhealed, obviously, because you attracted them to you. So they've been used by the universe as pawns to awaken you to who you are and to what needs to be healed inside of you, and then your awakening causes them to have epiphanies in their life. What do we have at the sacral? Wheel of Fortune, right at the sacral. Sag energy. So we have Aries and Sag on the table right now. So the Wheel of Fortune is all about life cycles, and this really goes along perfectly with what I'm saying here. Wheel of Fortune is also an energy of awakening. This is you really seeing the bigger picture, starting to understand how the universe and the divine is working in your life by way of the people, the circumstances, your surroundings. It's all working in a collective order to align you to your purpose, to your divinity. And as a Scorpio, I'm a Scorpio sun and a rising, and I have many Scorpio placements. This is exactly what happened to me in my life. For a couple of decades, I was always in the same relationships, the same kinds of people, and they would always trigger the worst in me. After all of these relationships, I felt really bad about myself, like I was a bad person. So it started to really wake me up to things about myself that really went all the way back to my own childhood. Why am I attracting these people? Why are they triggering this darkness inside of me that I really don't want to deal with, that I don't want to face? And the reason why I didn't want to face that darkness or deal with it, because I didn't feel like it was my own. They were behavioral patterns that I witnessed in my childhood that were really trying to stick to me. And an example of this would be watching my parents as a child fight with each other. They would say these very specific things to each other, always speak about each other in a very negative way to me behind the other parent's back. And so I found myself in relationships mirroring those things. And the other person I was with would do the same, right? So they're repeating patterns from their childhood, and now I'm repeating patterns from my childhood. And we're just basically in this generational karmic cycle of repeating everything inside of us that is unhealed, that we picked up in our childhood that doesn't belong to us anyway. Once I started to see this, because it got to a point where it was undeniable, the universe worked in such a manner with me to where it was right in my face, the exact same situations, the same patterns, the exact same kind of people were coming into my life. I just couldn't deny it anymore. I knew that there was some higher power working in my life. Something inside me told me that it all had to do with my path, that me waking up to this and healing this in my own life was going to actually help position me in my purpose, position me on my path. I got to a point in my life where I had hit so many walls and I met so many dead ends that I had nothing left to do but start really pulling apart my life up until that point and going in with a magnifying glass and just trying to see truly how I functioned as a human being, like a divine mechanic, trying to find where the energy leaks are inside my auric field, trying to find little dents, trying to find little cracks, all representing shadow work, childhood wounding, healing that needed to be done. So now the transformation begins, Scorpios. You start to understand that you must heal yourself, and trying to heal other people is a futile effort because you don't even need to put forth the effort to heal anybody once you've healed yourself. You become a perfect example of transformation and how anybody can heal themselves with divine guidance and the willingness to be a better, more improved version of yourself. There's many phases to a Scorpio transforming and awakening. There are steps, but the most important part of all of this, Scorpios, is looking at the patterns. What is the universe trying to tell you? Because for Scorpios, it's going to be right in your face. Oh yes, and I speak from experience. Looking back now, it was always in my face. And something inside of me, I had this knowing, like I knew it, but it seemed so magical in nature. Because a part of being in that low vibrational Scorpio energy is feeling like you're insignificant, that you're a nobody, you're useless. And that's why you put all your attention into trying to help others, because you just think that that's your lot in life. But that is an illusion in and of itself. The Scorpio collective is made to think that they're insignificant because you are the most significant when it comes to transformation. You are it. Most of you are meant to be in leadership positions, however that shows up in your life. You're just supposed to be in an energy of influence once you transform yourself. What do we have at the solar plexus? Too many cards. What do we have? What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Six of Cups, Scorpio energy at the solar plexus. And Scorpio, these are cycles that repeat over and over again until you wake up to this, exactly what I just said. Same people, different meat suit, right? And the Scorpio collective loves love. Oh, yes. Every romantic partner that comes into your life is it. That's your soulmate. That's your twin flame. Whatever it is to you, that's the person that you're meant to be with. You love the idea of love. You love being close with somebody. But Scorpios, what I found is once you start awakening to yourself and your purpose spiritually, you become less giving of your energy. You start to understand that all those individuals that came into your life represented what's unhealed inside of you, like I was saying. So what you start to do is you start to really focus on yourself. You start to understand your path, the meaning for why you're even here, or enough of it to get to work on yourself and in your purpose. And you get to a point where you understand that there probably is one person out there for you. And you start to become more comfortable in the idea of saving yourself until that person comes into your life. You start to become more aligned with your higher self, the divine, God, and you start to understand that you will be shown who that person is when the time is right. And most, if not all of the people that come onto your path in this romantic capacity will continue to be little tests, and you'll start to see it. It will become laughable. This happens to me almost daily, okay, these little tests, and it does become laughable. But eventually, Scorpios, there will be a point where the right person will show up, and I believe that the Scorpio collective will have no doubt in their mind that that is the right person, because what that person is going to reflect back to you, Scorpio, is not what's unhealed inside of you. They're going to reflect back to you all the work you've done on yourself and everything that's healed about you. You're now aligning with an individual who represents the healed version of you. In order to awaken correctly, Scorpios, and to not waste time, you will have to go it alone. It's just a part of your path. But you're not meant to be alone in the end. The divine just wants to prepare you. You have to be a willing participant to better your own life, align with your higher self, and heal yourself. Otherwise, you will keep repeating those same cycles over and over again. They'll repeat like a movie. Up until I awoke into all of this, Scorpios, my life was very similar to that movie Groundhog Day. It's like I would wake up inside these same relationships. And I always had this light bulb moment when I was in those relationships, like, wow, this is exactly like the last one. What's going on here? There must be some sort of higher power at work in my life. And even before I was awoken, Scorpios, I've always believed in the higher power. I've always been spiritual, but just not to the capacity I am now. There was always something inside of me that was keeping me tethered to the divine. Very much like I was sent down here on a mission, and my memory was wiped as soon as I was birthed into this life cycle, into the matrix, right? And my life was just a set of circumstances and an arrangement of individuals that was meant to wake me up to this, and it did. Eventually it did. It took a while, but I woke up to it. And so now looking back, I just see how there was this divine orchestration at play. And the reason why I need to tell you this, Scorpios, is because a lot of you are getting those same intuitive hits, those same light bulb moments inside these cycles. You know that there's a higher power at work in your life because there is, Scorpio. So this is me right now confirming to you that you're correct. What do we have at the heart? Too many cards. What do we have at the heart, please? This Knight of Wands at the heart. It really speaks about this low vibrational Scorpio energy of just giving too much of yourself. It's a very excessive kind of energy. Very scattered, energetically speaking. Very reckless with your energy and the people that you allow into your life. Once you start aligning with your higher self and you start awakening spiritually, Scorpios, you'll start to look back at the people that were once in your life as people that you would never, ever entertain in your life as this new version of yourself. It's not you looking down on them, but it's you really recognizing what's unhealed inside of them because you know how this goes. You were once one of them. There's also an energy of gratitude that you will find yourself in as well, Scorpios. As you look back at some of these people, you'll understand that the divine was working through them without them even knowing it. Some of these individuals will start to awaken themselves when they start to see that the divine used them to wake you up, Scorpios. That's a bit of a shocking realization. And it should be enough to scare anybody straight. to know that you were used like a tool for the divine to wake up another individual. What do we have at the throat? Strength, Leo energy at the throat. And this goes along perfectly with everything I'm picking up here, Scorpios. This is an energy of you just really focusing on yourself. It's an energy of self-love, harnessing this inner strength, realizing that you are most definitely not somebody who needs to give yourself to help other people advance on their path. It's really all about you, Scorpio. You are the center of your own universe. Once you start to understand this, and you start to wake up to the fact that you really are highly regarded in the divine, that you are one of the divine's best spiritual warriors, that you are individuals that are supposed to be the example of transformation inside your communities, inside your families. Most of you Scorpios are black sheep, you're chain breakers, if not all of you. It's a part of your life path. You redirect the flow of energy. Because these karmic patterns, what they do is they knock energy off course. Let's say, this is another way of speaking about evolution, which evolution is just a flow of energy. Life is constructed to keep the flow of energy, evolution, moving without resistance. However, there's two polarities at work here. This yin-yang, dark light, angel demon, feminine masculine, negative positive. However you want to look at it, there's two polarities at work at all times on many different levels, micro to macro. But you in your own individual life will see this by way of the karmic patterns that are playing out in your life. Your job is to get that energy moving. And you get that energy moving, Scorpios, by doing the healing work on yourself, first and foremost. And what you find is, once you do this, there's not much else you really need to do. You can just stand in confidence and live your life in alignment and happiness from that point forward. This is you really succeeding at your mission, Scorpios, because you become an example of transformation. You don't even really have to say much. All people have to do is look at you and see how you transformed your life by simply loving on yourself and by having the willingness and the fortitude, strength, Leo energy at the throat to heal yourself. Scorpio, you speak by way of example. It speaks for you. Two of Wands in reverse at the third eye. Two of Wands in reverse is an energy of small thinking, fearing the unknown. Another obstacle that Scorpios must overcome before they allow this healing to come through. You really do have to take a leap of faith, Scorpios, however this shows up in your own personal situations. You just have to really believe that all of those signs, synchronicities, that intuitive pull that you're getting is the divine working in your life. No, you're not going crazy. It's real. There is a higher power working inside the Scorpio collective's lives. You are all very much needed. We all work together in an incremental fashion to help get this stuck energy moving inside the collective. And like I said, you start by doing this in your individual life, Scorpio. Everything around you just seemingly starts to smooth out once you heal yourself. Because all of the resistance, all of the issues, all of the problems, all of the people, all of this dark energy that was in your life up until that point was sent towards you to wake you up to who you are. But in saying that, it was also sent in your life to stop you from waking up to who you are. How could that be? Well, Scorpio, this is the divine using all this devil energy that's coming into your life and onto your path to wake you up. We are inside a matrix, the devil's matrix. So all of this energy of resistance has been coordinated in a very specific, calculated manner by the devil himself and all his minions. So the divine will allow it to happen, to wake you up to who you are. And when you're in the midst of that, Scorpios, you will most certainly clench your fist and look to the skies and ask God why. Why me? Why would you do this to me? Why can't I catch a break? And God and all your spirit guides and all the representatives of the divine will look down, and they'll have tears welling up in their eyes. I can see it now. And God will whisper, just keep going, Scorpio, in hopes that you heard him. Because you have to understand, we are inside a devil's matrix. There's only so much the divine can do. We are in this lower vibrational, it's like a prison, right? Prison planet. So the divine will use the enemy against you as a means to wake you up. But the signs, the synchronicities, are to let you know that they're right there with you. There's a complexity to all of this, Scorpios, that I could really go on about forever. There's so much to it. There's so many details. But simply put, Scorpios, it's all about you waking up to what's taking place in your life, taking a leap of faith in this direction of healing, because you can't go wrong. I've never heard it's somebody falling on their face when they take a leap of faith in the direction of healing themselves. What do we have at the crown, please? And there he is. Look who decided to show up to the party, Scorpios. The devil. He heard me say his name. Right there at the crown. This is you breaking the chains, Scorpios. However this shows up in your life. Overcoming these karmic cycles in your life. The cycles that the devil wants to keep you bound and shackled to inside the matrix. These karmic relationships. For some of you, addictions, behavioral patterns, unhealed abuse. Whatever it is, Scorpios, this represents everything that we're talking about here. And this energy is showing up right at the crown after I spoke about it, because you are in the midst of breaking this. Or you're about to. You're all going to be on different parts of this journey. And Scorpios, as I'm looking down at the table right now, and I'm thinking about what we're channeling through, I'm starting to remember when I was going through my spiritual awakening, well before I even had my YouTube channel, and I was really trying to master the tarot. I would spend hours upon hours laying out these massive tarot spreads with every card in the deck. I would shuffle the cards, and I would start laying all the cards down until I ran out of cards, and then I would look at everything that was laid out. I would do it on the floor in these giant patterns, and I would just start putting together the narrative and those messages that were coming through from the divine, and I knew it. I knew God was guiding me. I knew that I was looking at a blueprint, some sort of a map on how I was to move. And this right here, Scorpios, is a message I got when I was going through this. And the transformations will never end, Scorpios. I'm still going through a version of this. It's just in a different arena of my life now. So all of you, again, will be on different parts of the journey. But this message here pertains to any level. It's a timeless message. This is a message that I feel has been passed down through the ages, Scorpios. It's a message, really, that anybody, no matter what zodiac sign you are, can benefit from. This devil also represents an energy of material focus. Like I said, inside the matrix, too focused on things that don't matter, right? That's how they get us. But once you awaken to everything we've picked up here, Scorpios, that actually becomes something that just kind of spills away, because you're in this flowing energy. So the illusions they try to create by trapping us inside the matrix, which is all based around materialism and greed, it starts to become something that you're able to navigate with ease because you're now recalibrated, connected with your higher self and the divine, and you just get messages on how to move. If you have financial issues, that will all start to dissipate. And again, I speak from experience with that one. If you're finding resistance in areas of your life that you're trying to succeed in, whether it be career, artistic, all of that energy gets moving as well. You start to feel an embrace. You start to feel supported because you've done the healing work. It's very important, Scorpios, that you stay very focused on your spiritual needs right now. What do you need spiritually? You need healing. Just start healing. And we're never completely healed, Scorpios. Never. Okay? It's a lifelong thing. But once you're on the path to healing, you're in the clear because your life becomes a perfectly orchestrated collection of events that you see as new ways that you can heal yourself and better yourself and collect more wisdom in this energy of evolution, not only for yourself, but for the collective as a whole, simply by doing what you were sent here to do. Be the best you that you can possibly be, Scorpio. That's your responsibility. What do we have the foundation from the Occult Tarot? Wow. And there it is, Scorpios. Baphomet, Baphomet. The devil, and this is read as the magician in reverse. Double devil. Not only did the devil try to show up to the party, Scorpio, but he brought his best friends with him. The devil's best people have been working inside your life, Scorpios, because you are a threat. You are a threat to de-evolution. Like I said, there's two energies at play at all time. Negative, positive, yin-yang. We must keep this all in balance. This is an energy here that wants you to feel like you're a nobody. Goes along perfectly with everything I was saying. Like you're here just to serve other people. You're here to help advance other individuals. You're here to sacrifice your life and your purpose to the betterment of others. Scattering your energy out. Not using your talents and your gifts that were God-given. Also keeping you in an energy of constantly wasting your resources, whether it be money, time, energy. Putting things onto your path so you can't focus on your creativity and your purpose and recognize the divinity and power that you hold within, Scorpios. Not able to turn your visions into reality because there's always some sort of disruptive energy around you. And this goes back to what I was saying about attracting the same kind of people. It's like they have the same spirit, right? This represents that energy. It's like you have a demon assigned to you that just jumps around from vessel to vessel, comes onto your path, wastes more of your time, does a little more damage than the last, until you get to a point where you look back and you have so many wasted years and you have nothing to show for anything, that you just begin the process of giving up on yourself. See, the devil wants to take minutes away from you. This is how the devil works. Takes your time away from you. And it happens in a very, very veiled process. You don't recognize it. You don't see it. But I promise you, Scorpios, when you're in the position that I'm in, and you have this perspective, you're going to look back on your life and you're going to see all the people that energy showed up in, and you're going to be blown away. And this is when you start to realize that you can't go back to any of it, that it must stay in the past, that they were all being used by the devil, agents of the devil. And how does someone become an agent of the devil? Well, Scorpio, it's actually quite simple. The way people live their life puts them in a certain vibrational frequency. So you'll notice that a lot of the people that you've had in your life will be caught up in these very low vibrational behavioral patterns, essentially making them a host for some sort of demonic possession to be used in your life to keep you off your path. What do we have at the sacral, please? Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy, Zagen. And this further details what we're picking up. This is a very unambitious energy. Things unfolding in your life, so you're lacking focus, you're lacking ambition, always being positioned to do things that you don't resonate with. This could even be like always having to work dead-end jobs and still not make enough to pay your overhead. Boy, do I know that energy well. I didn't understand it. I used to work so hard at all of these jobs I had. I worked very hard at, always trying to advance. And they were all put in my life so I would chase my tail. I was meant to think that I need to work a dead-end job that isn't even enough to cover my overhead, so I'm just going into perpetual debt, over focusing on my gifts, my talents, desires that I hold in my heart. All these things I've began to work on since I've awoken to who I am and stepped onto my path. And ever since I've been in that energy, things have started to flourish. There's a reason why you have those desires inside your heart, Scorpios. I cannot tell you that enough. That is the divine calling out to you. That is your higher self calling out to you. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Wow. Three of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, Orobos. So this is my bull in a china shop card, right? An energy that comes through in the 11th hour and just destroys everything, so you have to start over again. And I know that a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just when you feel like you're about to have some sort of victory in your life, poof, it's gone. You can't figure out what happened. And most of the time, Scorpios, it's an influence that you have around you, somebody around you who is being used by the devil himself to stop you from breaking free of these karmic cycles that you're running in your life. They're the custodians of generational karma, and they've been assigned in your life, Scorpios, to keep track of you and report back to the devil. And anytime they see you trying to make some sort of a change in your life based off of those true heart's desires, that divine tether between you and God, they orchestrate something in your life to sabotage you. And most of the time, Scorpios, you don't even know it. Again, it takes getting on the other side of it to look back and start to put the pieces together. And that's ongoing. Putting the pieces together, I do talk about this sometimes where, once you start awakening, you think that you sort of have a clear idea of what's taken place in your life. Oh, no, Scorpios, this goes on for a very long time. I think it's perpetual. I think it will last until the end of our life. It's like you get to the end of your life, you're just like an old man or an old woman, right? You're just kind of laying there, and you look back and you're thinking about some karmic person in your life, but you start to think about it in a way that you never did before, and you start to see how deep the manipulation went. Maybe it's a parent, and you're like, oh, son of a gun. I didn't see it like that back then. It took 70 years for me to get some sort of perspective over that. You start to see truly how deep it all goes, Scorpios. But in saying all that, Scorpios, once you really start to recognize these energies or enough of it in your life and kind of how it's working, and you start to create distance there, you will start to see growth, and you'll see it very quickly. The growth is waiting there for you. The blessings, everything that comes with being on path is already here for you. It's just a matter of you waking up to what's been unfolding in your life. Release yourself from that and then allow for this new energy to come through for you, because it will not come through until you've released yourself, until you've freed yourself from the shackles of the devil. You can't have both. It doesn't work like that. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow. Malfast's cruelty goes along perfectly with what I just said. 10 of Swords, right there at the heart. It's over. You start to see this energy of betrayal that's been unfolding in your life by the people around you. People wanting to make a victim out of you. This backstabbing energy. This is a rock bottom energy right here, Scorpios. And Scorpios, you have to understand something. That a lot of you are going to be dragged to that rock bottom. God knows, I was a few times. And then the last time, Scorpios, it happened, I had an epiphany. That light bulb moment. Well, if I've hit rock bottom again, this certainly isn't the first time. It's not the second time. It's not even the third time. I couldn't even count how many times I had hit rock bottom at that point. There was so many. But I had a major epiphany during that last moment that I hit rock bottom. When you're at rock bottom, Scorpio, what direction can you go? There's only one way to go. Up. Directly up. Rock bottom is your one-way ticket to the top. But you must change your mindset. You have been where most haven't. You have wisdom. You have experienced the darkness, the rock bottoms in your life. There's tremendous knowledge and power that comes with that. You have had failure after failure. You now are the keeper of those experiences. Eventually, you would have gained as much wisdom as you possibly can from hitting rock bottom time and time again. This all came to me that last time I hit rock bottom, Scorpios. I could practically see God smile at me because it was in that moment that I unlocked the door to the new life cycle. I understood that it was all a part of my path and that I could fuel myself based off of those failures and now succeed in any area of my life that I put my mind to. You've been through it all, Scorpios. You've been through it all. Some of you are still going through this right now. But you can release yourself from this by changing your mindset. The universe is trying to arm you with as much knowledge as possible to support you on your path and where you're going. 10 of Swords, Gemini energy at the heart. And then we have Rahel, love and submission, which is the 3 of Swords, Libra energy at the heart. And this is you now healing yourself, closing out that karmic cycle, overcoming the obstacles, overcoming these karmic cycles, healing and recovering. This is what this entire spread is about. Healing and recovering and releasing pain, forgiving the past or whatever this was here as a means to step into this new timeline that's already here for you, Scorpios. What do we have at the throat, please? 3 of Wands, Setail, Aries energy, the god of hope, construction of the universe, help with great works, protection from adversaries. This is you holding this vision, Scorpios. You don't even need your eyes to see because you've recalibrated with your higher self and the divine is guiding you intuitively, helping you build an entirely new reality for yourself inside this new cycle. This is all waiting for you, Scorpios. It's also an energy of expansion. 3 of Wands is the card of the entrepreneur as well. So take it as it resonates, Scorpios, but this is a supporting energy for you. It's also an energy of leadership, which is what I was picking up earlier on in the spread. A lot of you are supposed to be in positions of power because of what you've been through, because of this wisdom that you hold. What do we have, the third eye? Page of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy at the third eye. God who rejoices, divine comfort, gives consolation and protection from one's enemies. And this is an energy of new beginnings, creative new beginnings, Scorpios. Very intuitive energy, very synchronized with your higher self. It always gives me the energy of you starting a whole new cycle in your life, and it's like you're showing up for the first day. And see how you're all ripped now? And it's like you've got this cup in your hand, which kind of looks like a trophy, but it's like you're ready. You're ready to take on the world because of what you've overcome. You're the best version of yourself, male or female. Emphasis on physical conditioning. Being the best you can be, Scorpios. Become the best version of yourself. This is what this is all about. And live the best possible life you can live. They go hand in hand, Scorpios. What do we have for the crown to close this out for Scorpio, please? Nine of Wands, Hahasia, Sag energy at the crown to close out the reading. God, the impenetrable secret, universal medicine, elevation of the soul, and the revelation of mysteries. That really goes along with everything we've been picking up in this reading, Scorpios. You persisting forward despite any setbacks you faced in your life, Scorpios. This is the energy of you being a true test of faith. So Scorpios, no matter where you are on this timeline, doesn't matter what phase of this you are currently at, this will speak to the entire Scorpio collective. Just keep going, Scorpios. Just keep fighting. Your life is set up in a way that every time you fight, you get an advancement. It just keeps getting better and better the more work you do. It's never for nothing as long as you're focusing on your own spiritual development. Everything around you will just fall into place because you are being used as an example of a life well lived. And as long as you know that, Scorpios, you're considered dangerous. You are a threat to the devil. The devil's purpose is to stop you from remembering who you are and what you're here to do. Transform, Scorpios. Transform. Scorpio, this is the energy that's available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you would like a personal reading. All that information can be found in the description below. And thank you for your donation, Scorpios. Take care.